What's going on, everybody? This is Afro Think Tank. Today we're going to talk about white people apologizing. There are a lot of white folk apologizing on behalf of they folks, right? Like regular folks, not the government, no, not the institutions that did it, not the rich white men in suits, but the poor peasants that's used to buffer us from them, right? And I ain't gonna lie, it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird, right? Watching the pause, it's like if you watch Independence Day, right? And the aliens came down, they fucked up the whole planet and shit, and you're like, hey, buddy, I'm sorry, for what my alien buddies, brothers and sisters did. I apologize, my bad. And we're sitting there like, you done destroyed my planet. I don't know if I can accept your apology, And white folks on the allied white folks can be just as weird as the ones that don't like us for whatever reason, right? It's weird. It's weird. Man, I get that little secondhand embarrassment when white folks apologize. I'm like, we're not asking for your apology. We don't want white peasants' apology. Even though we know white peasants obviously are tools and cogs in the machine, we don't want white peasants' apology, right? We want institutionalized apology and reparations. That's what we want. If your apology don't come with reparations, then your apology is nothing but something to make you feel good, make you feel less guilty about what your society has done and how it is that you manage to live whatever life you live in, right? So if you're a successful white guy, right, and you look at your family and your family own all these assets and you go back far enough and you see that your granddaddy, your great-granddaddy was given a whole bunch of land or given a loan or given something that black people weren't given, right? Given a leg up, right? And then you find yourself, right, successful because of that, right? Understand your success is based off disenfranchisement of another person, right? Your foundation is based off welfare, right? Based off being given something up. Section 8 back in the day, right? That's like the whole foundation for European success in America, right? Now, if you don't got no success, if you find yourselves in a trailer park, if you find yourself, right, homeless, if you find yourself struggling, got 4-5 jobs, right? Your children got bad education, your whole neighborhood is undeveloped and it don't make no damn sense, right? And every time you turn on TV, see black folks partying, having a good time, being rich and shit. I can see how that will create some sort of animosity and create a form of tribalism, which is racism because it's two different races, right? I can see that, right? Right, but at the same time, remember them rich white folks that put that in your face, that's not reality, right? All those people we see on TV, they're just exceptions to the rule, right? But it puts it in our minds that they're bigger and more plentiful than it really is. But quite honestly, right, you white folks lucky for them, white folks, they're in a position where they have the ability to be forgiven, even though they've done the most worst things. Just so happens that African people have been through worse throughout our existence, right? And we have the ability to cope, right? So we can cope with the most extreme of things and we can deal with and move on and process the most horrific things. So we can process the shit and move forward. But the only way to do it is reparative justice. Like somehow you're gonna have to fix some shit. I'm sorry, you gotta fix some shit. Some shit gotta be fixed, right? So in this era where there are a group of European Americans who want to apologize for everything, which is fine. You shouldn't even feel guilty. It's not a guilt thing. The guilt that white people feel is because they know. That's that thing. The guilt white people feel that black people never asked them to feel, right? We never asked. Even though they keep saying that we keep asking them, they feel like they're being persecuted because they got to be reminded of the things that they have done, right? That's the thing. They're being reminded of the things that they've done. Just looking at a black person, just looking at our success reminds them that they did all that shit, but we're still rising despite that. Looking at us in dilapidated situations reminds them that it's their fault that we're in that situation. Looking at black people suffer, just looking at our existence reminds them of what they did. Every time they see an African American speak, talk, walk, it reminds them every day that the foundation that they live on is based on something that's not real. That everything that they take pride for as individuals, as a group of people, they can't really take pride for because they didn't do it from their own bootstraps. They forced it by gunpoint. right? That's how they have advanced throughout this world, through gunpoint, not bootstraps, but through gunpoint, right? Because they was the only ones with guns. Now they're not the only one with guns, even though they got the best guns still, for now, right? So, you know, I understand they're gonna be doing that apology thing. It's gonna be weird, you know, go ahead and do it. But, you know, I know some of you guys mean it, and some of you guys don't mean it. Y'all don't want to be left behind. Y'all don't want to be labeled. And the thing is, white people label each other racist. We just look at all y'all's racist. So there's no amount of allyship that's going to convince any black person that you're not racist. I'm telling you. Every black person looks at every single white person as racist to a certain degree. It's just, to what level? Is it a racist because of ignorance? Are they willing to change and learn, you know, and become less racist? Because that does happen. Or are they racist knowing full well that they're wrong, but they just want to be tribalists? Because you got those kind too. That's just like, fuck it. I enjoy being ignorant, mean, and divisive. I enjoy the pursuit of white supremacy. I enjoy it, right? You got those. And you got the ones that just don't know, right? They've just been miseducated, you know, misinformed, right? And then when they find out, that's why, if you notice, the smart, intelligent racists, the ones that they want to be racist. They understand the dynamics. They don't care about their evil doer. They are proud of that. That's part of it. As far as they're concerned, the morality, they sleep just fine at night. They don't like it when their children go to college and meet other people from other places because it expands their horizons. They don't like their young white boys and girls being exposed to the world, because then they become educated, and once they become educated, they are no longer able to be controlled by white supremacists telling them a bunch of bullshit propaganda. That's why college and education is the enemy to white supremacy. White supremacy needs ignorant white people in order to operate. Without ignorant white people, white supremacy does not work. Okay? Anyway, you guys tell what you think in the comment section about the white people apologizing. This Afro Think Tank, learn something, teach something. I'm out.
I'm sorry, y'all. So this message is for all my black Americans, the true Americans, my black brothers and sisters. I just want y'all to know I am sorry, man, that white people came to y'all land, stole y'all land, and enslaved y'all. I am sorry about that. There's no doubt about it. That shit was wrong and should have never happened. But unfortunately, it is a dark period of history that can't be erased and can't be forgotten and shouldn't be forgotten. But I want y'all to know, man, I can't speak for everyone, but I am sorry for those said crimes that was committed to y'all. And I do believe that your ancestors should have got some reparations for those said crimes. There's no doubt about that. But at the same time, I want to let y'all know, not all white people was with that. I am not with that. And there was many white people that didn't want no part of that. Therefore, we had a civil war. So y'all could be free. And I understand y'all ain't free still to today. But once again, I am sorry that white people is fucking horrible people. But we're not all that horrible, man. We're not. And I love everyone. I don't give a fuck what color you is. Hell, you could be fucking purple, green. I don't give a damn. As long as you show me respect, I'm going to show you respect, and we going to get along just fine. And we need to really start thinking about this shit. Look at the world that we're leaving behind for our kids, our grandkids, to try to fix. We need to say, fuck this shit, and we need to figure out a way to fix this for them. You know, we let it get this bad. You know, our ancestors, our grandpas, parents, they ain't doing shit to fix it. But now it's our time. And are we going to do the same thing? Going to push it off on our kids, our grandkids, to where they may have another civil war? And for what? Like I said, Black America, I get it. I understand. I'm not asking you to forget what happened. I'm asking you to forgive what happened. Not forgive the people that done that, but don't hold us all accountable for what a few select people did to y'all. No, we're not all bad people. And there's many of people like me that love y'all. I'd go to war for y'all. But we need to fix this. And shit, we need to do it soon.
Let me speak over you. I'm so sorry for being white. I'll never get offended if you call me cracker. I hate white people too.
What is going on here?
God is no longer to be here. In honor of his legacy. We're not rioting, God. We're not shaming anybody, God. We're just humbling ourselves before you. Yes, Lord. You brought the thunder and rain today, God. Because Satan takes the L today. Father, in Jesus' name, you get the victory. Father, we ask for forgiveness from our black brothers and sisters for years and years of racism, of systematic racism.
What's up, y'all? So listen, I came across this video and I really think this white man is sincere about this apology. And I never seen a white person take accountability like this for their actions as a racist. And this man, I think he really mean it. You know, so y'all check out this video. And yeah, I think we accept your apology, man. You know, what y'all think? What y'all thoughts? Share your thoughts in the comments, but check out this video.
I am, guys, for the first 35 years of my life or so, I was incredibly prejudiced towards a lot of people. I did not have empathy for other human beings that were not just like me. It was taught to me. I was brought up around it. I feel terrible about it, and I've been doing everything I can since I really truly became aware of how awful I was to turn it around and be a better human being. So I appreciate you guys being here. I appreciate you guys understanding.
So the church is making white people apologize to black people in church? Check this shit out.
To ask the white Americans in the room to please repeat after me. On behalf of myself and on behalf of my country. To you and all African Americans. From the beginning of our nation's history. In honor of your ancestors and on behalf of your children. Please hear this from my heart. I apologize. Please forgive us. With this prayer, I acknowledge the depth of the evils that have been perpetrated against black people in America.
On behalf of myself, nobody in that room owned slaves at any point in history. Not one person in that room, in that church, in that chapel, whatever it is, owned slaves. However, they are being made, I'm assuming they are being made, I don't know, peer pressure maybe, to apologize on behalf of themselves, behalf of themselves to the black people in the room. This is the kind of divisive bullshit that is coming from the left. I want to make sure, if the roles would be reversed in any other country, everybody would lose their mind. And I'm saying every other country, because in case you didn't know, in case you lived under a rock, black people own slaves too. The slaves that built this country, the United States, guess where they came from? They came from Africa. Guess how they were bought? Yeah, other black people sold them. However, you know, it's the United States of America. We don't really teach real history because Democrats have been in charge of the education system for decades. And as a result, we have pathetic, weak human beings like that. And no man in the room was like, you know what, this is wrong. We cannot go with that. This is what happens when you are pussifying real men. you end up with this, with men that are not going to stand up for what's right, with men that are not going to stand up for what's good. Why? Because their masculinity has been taken away from them, or they were told that their masculinity is toxic. So the church is making...
I just truly want to apologize from the heart of my from the bottom of my heart, sorry, for what I said. It was very inappropriate and I did not mean to offend the community and the group of people that I did. I don't think an apology to the black community is going to fix the issue. You need to educate yourself and educate everyone around you, because this is a very system. Your apology has been accepted. It's okay. It's okay. Don't cry. It's okay. Thank you, guys. Why are you accepting the apology? You're white. You did not offend us. Thank you so much. Thank you. She didn't offend you. She offended the black community. We accept your apology. Wait, hold on. You can't accept the apology on behalf of black people when you're white. Don't worry, you don't need to apologize. The apology was so sincere. We love her. What's going on here? She's the best.
Many people don't want to acknowledge that the black community are the chosen people, because let's get deep into this, because in reality they have the knowledge that most people don't have. Like, the only reason why people know how to farm is because of the black community. The only reason why we have the music that we have today is because of the black community. There wouldn't be no rock or metal if it wasn't for blues and jazz. There wouldn't be pop music if it wasn't for disco. There's a lot of things that they created that white people never did. White people really don't have that deep of knowledge. It's either stolen ideas or they're bought. Let's be real. What did white people really invent? You could say Tesla from Elon Musk, but he didn't make that. It was a stolen idea. If you go read what he did, he literally stole the whole business. You could say Trump, but what did Trump do? Stolen ideas, copied somebody else's ideas, just like his speeches. It's like a lot of white people just copy people. I mean, look at the dances on here. Who created those dances? The black community. And that's why this app's so boring right now, because it's not because all this stuff that's going on and the negativity. The black community literally just took their energy away. That's why this app was positive, because a lot of the white people were copying their dance move, copying this, copying that, and they stopped doing it, stopped posting on here, because none of you will give them the credit or the acknowledgement that they created that dance move or that idea. Before this land was taken, white people had no clue what the fuck to do. They were taught their language, they were taught how to farm, they were taught how to season their food that they still don't know how to do. That's another thing, seasoning. All their favorite foods, barbecuing. You love the barbecue, right? That was the black community's idea. This is why they are chosen. They have the knowledge that most people don't have. There's a possibility there is white people who are chosen, because let's face the facts. What happened during the Roman times and the slavery and all this other stuff, the black women were getting raped. So they were having their children. So there might be a bigger chance than we think that a lot of white people might have possibly a little black in them. That's why white people are jealous of them, because they know they have no creative ideas. They don't know how to cook, some of them. They don't know how to do much anything. They have to copy and paste everything the black community does, because they have no ideas of their own, or they're jealous of their looks, jealous of their ding-dongs, whatever. Because their light is shining more than white people's. And honestly, the Bible says there's antichrists everywhere. The Antichrist, blah, blah, blah. But white people are the Antichrist. You have no Christ consciousness whatsoever. If anything, you try to erase Christ consciousness. I mean, look at all of you right now in this day and age. But yeah, none of you has Christ consciousness. Most white people are full of hate. And a lot of black people are full of love. How do I know this? Because the black community treated me better than my own race. Let's just face the facts right there. The black community has treated me better than the white people. Back to the Antichrist though. You have Jim Jones, you have Trump, you have a bunch of white people always saying they're trying to save the world, and they always don't. Those are Antichrist. Always white people doing it. But yeah, most of our knowledge that we know today, the music we have today, the foods we have today, is all from the black community's ideas, which is Christ consciousness, and God gave that knowledge for a reason.
Please forgive us. As I speak, I'm going to ask the white Americans in the room to please repeat after me. On behalf of myself and on behalf of my country, to you and all African Americans, from the beginning of our nation's history, in honor of your ancestors and on behalf of your children, please hear this from my heart. I apologize. Please forgive us. With this prayer, I acknowledge the depth of the evils that have been perpetrated against black people in America. From slavery to lynchings, to white supremacist laws, to the denial of voting rights, to all the ways, both large and small, all of them evil, all of them wrong, for all the oppression and all of the injustices. I apologize. Please forgive us for the denial of any civil rights, for inequalities in criminal justice, to any instances of police brutality, to the denial of opportunity, for economic injustice, for any ways that a racial element has played into the perpetration of injustice. I apologize. Please forgive us. Emancipation Proclamation, the 13th Amendment, which abolishes slavery. A presidential pen could end, and a constitutional amendment could end the evil institution. But racism didn't end. You can't, no presidential pen or constitutional amendment could eradicate racism. It could eradicate the institution, which was a manifestation of that. There are certain things the government's not going to do, so where does it begin? It begins with us, and that begins with atonement.
The black community has long suffered under the weight of systemic racism and discrimination. As white people, it is our responsibility to use our privilege to support and uplift the black community. Here are a few ways that we can be better allies. Listen and learn. We need to listen to black voices and experiences without interrupting or dismissing them. We should educate ourselves on the history of systemic racism and the ways that it continues to impact the Black community today. We should seek out resources, books, and documentaries that help us understand the issues. Next, speak up. We should use our privilege to speak up against racism and discrimination. We should challenge racist comments and behaviors, even if it's uncomfortable. Silence that which perpetuates racism. We should support Black-owned businesses in our communities. We should advocate for policies that support economic justice and equity. Donate to Black-led organizations. Financially support Black-led organizations that are working to address systemic racism and inequality. It can be done through regular contributions or contributing to certain campaigns and initiatives. We should also use our platforms for good as white people. We have access to platforms and audiences that the Black community may not have. We should use our platforms to amplify Black voices and perspectives, raise awareness about issues affecting the Black community, and promote positive change. Be open to feedback and learning from our mistakes, as we will make mistakes along the way. But it's important to acknowledge them, apologize, and learn from them. We should be open to feedback and willing to change our behavior and perspectives as we continue to learn and grow. Being a better ally to the Black community requires a willingness to listen, learn, and take action. It requires us to use our privilege for good, support Black-owned businesses and communities, and speak up against racism and discrimination. It's up to all of us to work towards a more just and equitable society, and being a better ally is an important step. If you like the content and benefit from it, give me a follow.
So J.D. Vance really got on that America Fest stage and said,
"In the United States of America, you don't have to apologize for being white anymore."
And I'm sitting here like, who asked you to? Now, he said this right after bragging that DEI got relegated to the dustbin of history, meaning we already killed the program. Now I must act like I'm still the victim. What's really wild about this is that they have the White House. They have executive power. They already used executive orders to rip DEI out of the federal agencies. So why are they still crying like they're oppressed? Why do you need a rally to defend whiteness when you're literally controlling the levers of government? This is what people don't want to admit. A whole lot of this ain't about policy. It's about ego. Because if you're truly innocent, you don't need a chant. You don't need a slogan. You don't need a political movement screaming, "Stop accusing me." That kind of divisive energy usually shows up when people feel the truth getting too close to comfort. This is grievance politics. They take the mild discomfort of hearing about racism and try to rebrand it as persecution. They turn accountability into attack. They turn history into humiliation. They turn equal opportunity into anti-white discrimination. And let's stop playing. That conference wasn't about bringing Americans together. It was marketing. It was a branding event for a movement that wants to replace serious solutions with emotional permission slips. Permission to dismiss inequality. Permission to stop listening. Permission to call empathy weak. Permission to treat civil rights as a scam. And the scariest part? This wasn't just a speech. This was an audition. The AP even reported he wouldn't draw firm lines against bigotry in that same environment because he's trying to hold together a coalition where outrage is the glue. That's not leadership, that is managing resentment. I'm going to say this responsibly. Any political operation that repeatedly spreads misinformation or pushes scapegoating and normalizes extremist adjacent rhetoric deserves scrutiny by journalists, watchdog groups, and the public. Not because free speech should be banned, but because propaganda should not be treated like patriotism.
Say something controversial. White people in America are the dumbest people in the world. The way that I saw people clapping thunderously when J.D. Vance said something like, you don't have to apologize for being white anymore in this country. We never have had to. Not once. Not once. And y'all are too dumb. Y'all are too dumb to use context and reasoning and understand that your black neighbor or your Hispanic neighbor or any non-white neighbor is not your problem. They were handed you as a scapegoat by the system, the people at the top who are yanking social support networks, who are suppressing wages, who are exploiting labor, right? Your neighbors are not your problem. They are suffering just in a different font, a different flavor, if you will. And you guys are too dumb that you're like, yeah, it's definitely the guy that makes 6 cents more than me down the street, instead of the guy making $6 billion at the fucking top and buying children. Y'all are worried about Snap buying soda pop. Like, get fucking.
White people don't have to apologize for being white no more. Y'all want to be victims so goddamn bad. Hey, every branch of government dominated by white people. Every industry dominated by white people. I don't understand how y'all can have entire curriculums. I'm talking about history. I cannot graduate high school without learning white history. You can graduate high school and know nothing about black history. How do y'all want to be victims so goddamn bad? Y'all been able to mobilize white supremacy and white Christian nationalism to the highest office in the White House. And you still want to be a victim? Hey, your ancestors is rolling over in their grave because they worked their ass off and killed a whole bunch of people, stole a whole bunch of land, so you can be a superior, victorious. No, victorious superiority. That makes sense. Just for you to cry and whine about being a victim? You don't have to apologize for being white. Ain't no white person ever apologize for being white. As a matter of fact, y'all fight tooth and nail to keep everything that you've been able to inherit from your whiteness. Y'all never want to be blamed for your ancestors, but always want to hold on to the shit they left for you. I don't want to apologize. Man, y'all sound like some hoes. As a matter of fact, a lot of y'all didn't drop out nuts until Trump got in office. Y'all some suckers.
White people are obligated to right wrongs that your ancestors did. White people want black people to stop talking about it and don't make me feel bad about myself. And I'm not a bad person. And yes, you are. You don't want to hear it too bad. The responsibility falls on your shoulder.
According to you, I'm supposed to right the wrongs for people I never met, for things that happened centuries ago. Absolutely not. Sins of history don't transfer by skin tone. And guilt isn't genetic. Let's talk about facts. Let's talk about facts. The United States fought a civil war where over 360,000 white Union soldiers died to end slavery. Many of them were not rich plantation owners. They were white farm boys who gave their lives, okay, so every single person could be free. It's not oppression, that's sacrifice. After emancipation, it was Republicans who passed the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments, guaranteeing freedom, citizenship, and voting rights. It was the Democrats that fought those laws, okay? They started the Ku Klux Klan. They enforced segregation for nearly a century. The party of white guilt today is the same exact party that enforced white supremacy back then. Meanwhile, millions of Americans living today, white, black, Asian, they all came here after slavery had already ended. Irish, Polish, German, Italian, Jewish, they were all dirt poor when they came here. Worked in mines, factories, and railroads. No privilege, no plantation, no ownership of anybody. And many of them were treated like trash when they arrived here. If we're talking about global slavery, let's not pretend that slavery was invented in America. It existed on every single continent for thousands of years. Africans enslaved Africans. Arab traders sold millions into bondage long before Columbus was even born. Barbary slave trade enslaved over 1 million Europeans. Where's the outrage for that? History is complicated, but blaming modern-day citizens is just lazy. We don't inherit guilt. We inherit opportunity. What we do with that defines character. So I'm not sorry. I'm not going to apologize for something I never did. No one in my family ever did. See, what I'm going to do is take responsibility for my own actions. I'm going to take responsibility for my own choices, my own future. That is what freedom means. Stop with the pity party bullshit. No one's coming to save you. Earn everything that you get in life.
My account was down last night because 75% of the world's billionaires are white. 87% of the world's millionaires are white. 80% of all CEOs are white. Black history is hate speech on all of these apps. So again, I can't say why we have all the money. That's mean. right? I can only say that we have all the money, and that's because we don't think we did anything wrong. And there's proof of that on my comments from the post that went viral yesterday. And I'm not sorry, hillbillies, that you found my account. I don't respond to white people. I don't respond to people that are evil. Evil people don't know they're evil. That's what makes them so inherently dangerous. They were designed that way in settler spaces. Over-police settler spaces. To over-police and report. Completely reactionary. So, like, yeah. They're acting like pilgrims. I'm sorry if you saw that. There was a lot of N-words and a lot of terrible stuff in those comments. I got in trouble for it, not them. The real tragedy is that white people will never be invited to the cookout because we're made to feel persecuted by our own history. And our own history is their story of survival and triumph. It's their America now. We didn't work for it. We just created picket fences. We made the suburbs. We over-policed to create suburbs so we don't have to deal with any of this. We need one honest white history month where we can let our kids know what we're dealing with. If every white kid is like me and is just getting banned online so that black people can still work Labor Day, we're going to have problems, right? Like, you can't steal the ideas of persecution. We stole the ideas of fashion, art, music, food, and now persecution. So, and I won't allow it, god damn it, Instagram and TikTok, you
Look, I created a new account and I am scared to post because I don't want the algorithm to know I'm white, because for whatever reason, they don't put me on black TikTok. Dog, let me stay. Please just let me stay, dog. I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back to all that. Let me stay here. I won't bring no food. I'll just drinks. What do y'all want? You know what I'm saying? I'll learn how to play spades. Y'all can put me on the team of the guy y'all don't like. Just let me stay, dog.
Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! We most definitely cannot forget about the people of Sudan!
Thanks for watching Afro Think Tank. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And follow me on Substack and Patreon for more content. Remember, it's Pan-Africanism or nothing.